Okay, I appreciate all of the feedback I've got for the SpeedMail tool that I made, and I wanted to take a few minutes and add a little bit of information that will probably be helpful to a lot of y'all. I know some teachers are much more technical than others, and some teachers like to tinker and see how things work, which is really cool. And you can definitely look at this and figure out some ways that the code works and the whole nine yards. But I wanted to show you a few things that would really help keep anything from breaking, or if you happen to break it, some ways that you can fix it. Now, a couple things. The way this is set up in column A, which all looks blank except for this checkbox, the way this column works, there actually are checkboxes already in here. They're just conditionally formatted so you can't see them. So anything that's in column C will make the checkbox appear. So for example, if I put my name here, then this checkbox appears. It was already there. It was just hidden. So when you make a list of your kids, when you paste that list in, the checkboxes will appear, one for every student. There's actually checkboxes that go beyond that list. I think I made it to 250. So if you have a lot of kids, it'll work out that way. So just be aware of that. And that's important because checkboxes are things that can be deleted. So for example, I might inadvertently delete it. Now there's no checkbox here at all. That's actually okay. The fix for that is literally just to take an empty checkbox, Control C and Control V, and it's going to be there, and it should have the same conditional formats as before. So that's good. So that's the first thing that a lot of teachers might encounter is they accidentally deleted the checkbox. Now, sometimes when you're doing these checkboxes, this actually, even though it's a box, it actually means false. And if you click it, it means true. That's the way the code works. And sometimes something will glitch and the box will go away and it'll say false or true. And if that happens, again, just copy and paste the checkbox into the appropriate place, and then you'll fix that problem. Now, the next thing that might happen, probably will happen, is that something will happen to the code in column B. Notice that column B is hidden. I can click these little arrows and unhide it, and there's really not a whole lot in here. This says Q. Q means qualifier. Basically, column B is what tells the system to send the email. So if I make a check mark here, then a 1 appears in column B. There's a formula here, and that's the formula, equals if, and there's a formula. Basically, if this is true, put a 1 here, otherwise leave it blank. That's what this formula says. So what I'm afraid of some people possibly doing is saying, oh, the student, for example, he's no longer with us. Let's just select the row here and hit delete. Well, that'll work. You deleted it, but you also deleted the formula for column B. So we need to make sure we put that formula in. So if you happen to redo that, if you delete, you're like, oh no, what happened to this? This is how you fix it. The same way with fixing the checkbox with column A. And if you delete the row like that, you have to fix column A also. So the formula is still here. It's actually in all of these cells. So I know that I just messed up this row. Then I can just take the formula here, Control C and Control V. And now I put the formula back there. And then I can do the same here with this checkbox like that. And so if I go my name back in here, there we go. And then if I click like that, there we go. So that fixes it. So if you happen to make that error, that's probably the most common thing that might happen that could break this. That's how you fix it. It's actually really easy to do. And finally, the last thing I'll show you, those are the main things that might actually break this. Let me hide these right here, because I believe these right here, even if I try to change this and make this, let's say, email, it's going to change back to that. So you can't even make this text any different. So class is just going to be class. I know some people might want to make it something else. There is a way to do that. If you really want to fix that, email me, and I'll tell you how to fix that as well. And class is supposed to be not the period, but the actual course, like science or ELA or something like that. So these basically can't be broken. But I know some of you guys want to figure out the template, like what is the actual email that gets sent. Here's how you do that. I hid that because I didn't want people to just jump in there and start messing with it, and then all of a sudden they break it, and then they're like, what do I do? But let me show you what to do here. So you go to View, and you go to Hidden Sheets, and there's two. Master List is the actual engine that makes the emails sent. I would just leave that alone. There's really not a whole lot you can do with that. If you delete things from there, it'll break, and it's a little bit harder to fix. So leave Master List alone. But Template, this is where the emails come from. So when you click Template and open it up, you have the one on the left, one on the right. The one on the left, this is the email that goes to the kids. The one on the right is the email that goes to the parents. And I made them different because you're going to state things in different ways depending on if you're talking to a student directly or to the student's parents. And so there are two different ones, and so that's why there's parent email 1 and 2. They get the one on the right, and student email gets the one here on the left. Now, how this is set up here, you notice I've got these little guys in brackets, name in brackets. It's very important that name stays in brackets. This right here is what figures out what the student's name is. So you can move this however you like, as long as you make sure that it's like a bracket, a curly bracket, name, curly bracket, like that. So wherever you put this, that's where the name will appear. So if you wanted to, you could, like, for example, you could copy this part right here, and I could then add another sentence right here if I wanted to, and just maybe Control V, because this will be the person's name, comma, thanks for all of your hard work. So if you wanted to personalize your message any which way, totally can do that, but this is how you get that name to be where you want it to be. Similar to right here where it says course, any place where you have curly bracket, course, curly bracket, that's what is in the class column. So whatever you put for that, it's going to show up here, ELA, science, and you can, again, you can put these in different spots if you wanted to change how the syntax goes. Now the email is going to be formatted like this with the same spacing. So if I were to indent, it would be indented. However, this is like this. And some of you guys know this, but if you're in a cell typing and you just hit enter, you go to the next cell. If you're typing in something like this and you want to stay in the cell, for example, if I wanted to put thanks for all your hard work on a different row, I would hit Alt and then enter. And Alt-Enter keeps you entering within the cell, and so that would change the email to be a little bit different. So feel free to change these templates. Just remember that course and name are very specific to what's on the original sheet, and that's why it's important that it's first name space last name, because people like to see their name looking normal. So this right here on the left is what goes to the kids. This right here on the right is what goes to the parents. You can adjust them at will, however you like. And I find it best practice when I've got my template like I like it, I always hide it. And that way there's no temptation to mess things up or to do something else. If I need to get in there and do something, I open it back up and take care of it. So those are the main things, 2 errors that we can fix if you happen to break the thing. And if you want to make some adjustments to the template, you can do that as well. If you have any other questions or need any help with anything, feel free to reach out to me. That's me, Michael Anderson, Manderson01 at nisdtx.org. Thanks so much. Take care.